So, good evening, and welcome to Paradigm Shift TV 314. I'm your host with the most. I'm Leandre McBride, the Slim Reaper, as they call me around these parts. Tonight, we have a wonderful discussion going on between Brother NoBody, the Christian assassin, and the ratchet ex-Christian, RaXchet Craige, your drunk uncle, who's here to teach you a lesson and ask you, is that you, nephew? And you walk in with that fine lady at the barbecue. So, tonight, we have several questions these brothers are going to address. The main question before us tonight, Brother NoBody, what's the main question for us? What's the proposition tonight? What's question number one? Yeah, brother.
Now, tell the name of the debate. Can we tell the name of the debate and the rules of engagement?
Yeah. This is about God or godlessness. Which makes more sense, atheism or Christianity? So that's the topic of discussion for tonight. And so with that, are all sides ready?
I'm ready.
Brother NoBody, you on mute. You ready?
Yes, sir. I'm ready.
Brother Craige, you ready?
I'm there. I'm here.
Do you have your alcohol, Brother Craige?
I'm asking NoBody, do he have his?
Brother NoBody, do you have your alcohol? It's communion time.
Oh, man. He already beat me. He already won. Anyway,
it's communion time, and it's time to break bread. So, brothers.
He break bread, yeah.
Now, for the audience, here's how we're going to do it. We have specific questions that each person is going to be answering. And after they answer each question, there's going to be a back and forth. Some questions are for one particular speaker, and the other person will have a chance to rebuttal. Other questions are for both speakers, and they both have a chance to speak. They'll have a back and forth. So I will be reading the questions to you, and then they'll be answering the questions. So since both sides are ready, here's the first question. With all the advancements science has had for humanity, which ideology lends itself more to science, Christianity or atheism? Which one of you brothers will be taking first?
I will be going first.
Brother NoBody,
tough ass nigga. Go ahead.
You have 2 minutes to answer. As soon as you start speaking, I will start your time.
All right, let's go. I'm going to be reading something from a quick Google search from Discovery of Science, and it starts out like this. Historians of science David C. Lindbergh, Ronald Numbers, and Edward Grant have described what follows as medieval scientific revival. Science historian Noah Ephraim has written that Christianity provided the early tenets, methods, and institution of what in time became modern science. Modern Western universities have their origins directly in the medieval church. They began as cathedral schools, and all students were considered clergy. This was a benefit as it placed the students under ecclesiastical jurisdiction and thus imparted certain legal immunities and protections. The cathedral schools eventually became partially detached, and the cathedrals have formed their own institutions, and the earliest being the University of Bologna, the University of Oxford, the University of Paris. Some scholars have noted a direct tie between particular aspects of traditional Christianity and the rise of science. Other scholars and historians have credited science with laying the foundation for the scientific revolution. And we're going to go over here to Sir Francis Bacon. And if you don't know who Sir Francis Bacon is, he is a Christian man. And Sir Francis Bacon, him and other theists, but specifically him, they are known for coming up with the scientific method that we use today. And it says, the Bacon method of science. The Bacon method is the investigation method developed by Sir Francis Bacon, one of the founders of modern science, and thus a first formulation of the modern scientific method. And we know Isaac Newton and other people. I don't even have time to get into all of them because I only have 2 minutes. Based off of historians that only study science, they are PhD scholars in this field. They let everyone know that
That's
Christianity. I bet.
Brother RaXchet. Well, I'll tell you what. Finish your sentence, and then we'll move on to Brother RaXchet.
Yeah, let's finish this sentence, because I want to finish mine. I don't want to get cut off with time.
Oh, okay, cool. Based off of what I just read, I would challenge anybody to find a a historian that is a scientist who said that Christians did not lay the foundation for what we call modern science today. I think that it's ridiculous for anybody to say that a person can't be a Bible believer and believe in science when we see that Christians are the one who laid down the foundation for what we consider modern science today.
Okay, Brother RaXchet, Craige, as soon as you start, your 2 minutes starts.
Well, okay, what was the question again?
The question is that with all the advancements science has had for humanity, which ideology lends itself more to science, Christianity or atheism?
Okay, then. My thing is, my opponent, I knew he would say it started with Christianity, but let it kind of be kind of clear with this. It started with Catholicism, and it didn't start with what he do, his branch of Christianity, which is Protestant, right? The Protestant Christian Church. It didn't start with that, and this, this happened around the Protestant separation from the Catholicism started in 1600s. And it was called the Protestant Reformation, right? And it gave to Evangelist, Baptist, Methodist, Pentecostal, and all the other non-denominations, right? So he died this lineage. I'm pretty sure he don't recognize the Catholic Church as his thing. He do the Protestant thing. Along with the Protestants, the Protestants were worried about the errors of the Bible, right? They weren't worried about science. They worried about the Bible alone, the Scripture alone, salvation for faith alone. They worried about the ideology of faith alone, and they worried about the denial of the body and the blood in the Christ of the communion, and they was worried about the belittling of the Holy Virgin, the Mother of God. They worried about that. Now, how atheism ideology came about through the church. It came through Galileo. I'm gonna give that for example. The Age of Reason. It came through Galileo when he did the heliocentric model.
That's time.
And they went against the church.
They
went against the church. Yeah. They went against the church. Yeah. The Bible said that the church the sun revolved around the earth, and you know what I'm saying? His thing is he got persecuted for believing in the heliocentric model.
That's gonna be time, Brother Craige.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So now I'm gonna start the time for 6 minutes of back and forth. I'm gonna count to 3, and y'all just go ahead and get at it. Uno, dos, tres.
All right, Craig. I think you may be mistaken for regular Catholics and comparing them to Roman Catholics. Those are two different denominations. Based off the question that Leandre asked you, I feel as if you spent more time trying to tell me what I am rather than proving your point about atheism being better than Christianity when it comes to science.
No, I agree that both of them came out of Catholic, right? I'm saying that your Protestant thing that you do, the thing that you do, came out of protesting the Catholic. I'm saying my route went scientific, and it came in the age of the Enlightenment, the age of reason, my atheism. I'm saying it with two different branches based off Catholicism, and you have a branch, and I'm just saying represent your branch.
Craig, I'm non-denominational, bro.
So you rock out with the Catholic.
Yes, sir. I mean, not Roman Catholics, not the people that follow the Pope, but Catholics are our brothers and sisters in Christ.
Okay, you going to get you a Protestant at this point.
What you mean?
That's what the whole thing with the Protestant was about. They didn't rock out with the Pope. They was Scripture alone. They were doing this Lutheran thing. They were doing this this Baptist thing, this evangelist thing. And they went a different route.
Craig, what does the word Catholic mean?
It means universal.
There we go. So I am a universal Christian.
But it's a historical value. It's a historical value to the universal that you trying to say. You try to just do the word only, and I get you. You a word only guy because God spoken the word into existence. So you're a word only guy. But I ain't saying it got historical value for
so
hindsight that we can look
so
at.
so back to the question at hand, right? Which ideology lends more to science, Christianity, or atheism? Can you tell me what foundation has atheism laid down that overrides what Christians have done for the world in the science area?
I'm saying that the atheism that I rock out with, that everybody know, it came in the 18th century.
So they're a day late.
Yeah, it
So
came
you
out
mean
in
to
the
tell me that
18th
they're a
century.
day late and a
Hold on.
dollar short?
It came out in the 18th century, and then on that's what it built. It came out the age of enlightenment, the age of reason. Before then, it wasn't no age of reason. It wasn't no age of enlightenment. And these
But
things gave rise to certain things, right? Can I tell you these certain things?
sure.
It came to natural law. It came to liberty, progression. It came to certain fraternity, constitutional government. Went from this monarchy chain of being government to constitutional government, and the most important thing, the separation of state and religion. The most
And
important thing.
okay, so since your movement started in the 1800s, and what Isaac Newton and what Sir Francis Bacon that I just listed, that was 1600s.
Yeah.
The science historians that I just read from, and it was at least 4 of them, they just said that the scientific revolution of what we call modern science today started then. So wouldn't you agree that atheism is a day late and a dollar short?
Nah, it's not a day later, Dr. Chuck. I think atheism is the evolution of the highest thinking. So me saying that is, uh, you had polytheism, then you had monotheism, and I think no deity at all is the highest thinking, and it's atheism. I'm just saying, it just came later. It just came
So
later, and sometimes with modern science, technology get better, and technology and science go together. That's all I'm saying.
so so what technology have atheists gave to the world where without it we couldn't survive?
They gave the atheistic view that came out of religion. These people was religion, and they went against they got persecuted, bro. They couldn't
Who got
even
persecuted?
they could Galileo,
Okay, I'm basic. Okay.
Medea, John D. Hello, Medea, John D. Get accepted into later. You had Isaac Newton, his stuff did get accepted into later, and they would get backlash from the Catholic Church, right? It wasn't no Protestants
Mhm.
in the mix right now. These are all Catholics. These are all Catholics, and they
So
had the
before we end,
institution and the economics, and they was why they was able to do scientific discovery.
so you,
45 seconds.
so before we end this round, would you agree with me that the people who I named, such as Isaac Newton, Sir Francis Bacon, and the 4 historians that I brought up today, would you agree that the foundation for the scientific method that we use today was started by Christians and then atheism came later?
Now they were started by Catholics, not
No, the
Protestants.
Christians, bro.
Yeah, I'm not gonna let you do the whole thing. I'm gonna section you off. This is like saying Hebrews. They could use
Okay, well, let me say it this way
Christian.
then.
30
Yeah,
seconds.
I'm
Let me
just
say
saying
Let me say it
I'm
this way, Craig.
sectioning you off.
Craig.
Go
Okay,
ahead.
since you sent it that way, let me say it this way. Would you agree that the scientific method that we use today was laid down by theists and not atheists?
Yeah. The Bible was the
Okay.
only show in
Checkmate.
town. The Bible
And
was
that
the
is
only show
time,
in
gentlemen.
town. Yeah, it was the
Checkmate.
only
That is
show in
time.
town.
Checkmate. Next question.
Yeah. So the next question we're going to go to, question number 2. Does it make sense to believe in Christianity or follow atheism? Why and why not? So this question, each side has 2 minutes to answer the question. You have 2 minutes to answer the question. After the 2 minutes, then you'll have 6 minutes of back and forth. So, Brother NoBody, as a matter of fact, Brother Craig, You'll be going
Yeah,
first.
yeah. Repeat the question one more
Okay,
time, and then
I'm ready, boy. I'm ready, but go ahead.
Does it
yeah.
make sense
Repeat
to
the
believe
question.
in Christianity or follow atheism? Why and why not? So, because Brother Nobody went first on the last one, Brother Craige, you're going to be going first on this one.
Okay,
So,
that's fine.
does it make sense to believe in Christianity or follow atheism? Why and why not? When you start talking, I'll start the timer.
Okay, does it make sense to follow Christianity or atheism? Of course, I don't care what a person believe in, right? That's first off, right? Let me put that out there. I don't have to convert a person to atheism, or nor do I care if a person believes in Christianity. Uh, so my thing with this question is, when it comes to Christianity, if I look into the doctrine, does it make sense? Reading, because we do Bible scriptures only right now. We don't do the culture no more. Uh, I say it don't make no sense. And why I say it don't make no sense is because you have stories, you have different stories, right? You have these stories that on moral value, it don't make no sense. Like what God do in the Bible, the Christianity, the scripture as far as Jesus, be it for immaculate conceptions. I think these mythology stories just fool people at the end of the day. And I think when it comes to atheism, I say it's more natural law that people take accountability for themselves
30
and they
seconds.
don't need the training wheels of Christianity. Hold on, I'm finished.
You have 18 seconds.
Okay, yeah, they don't need the training wheel of Christianity, and so I think if a person can become a Christian, I mean, atheist, without the training wheels, I want them to graduate and evolve into atheism.
And
So
that
it
is
make no
time.
sense.
That is time. That is time.
Yeah.
Brother Nobody, you will have 2 minutes to answer this question. When you
Bef-
start talking, yes, sir.
Before I go, let me say this. Vocab Malone, send me hit me up in my inbox, bro. I definitely will stop by your channel tomorrow night, bro. Holla at me. All right, Leandro.
Yes, sir. So when you start talking, brother, I will start the timer. Shout out to Vocab Malone.
All right,
Shout
I'm
out to
ready.
vocab.
I do care what people believe. Now, I'm not going to condemn anybody for what they believe. My brother, RaXchet Craige, that's my bro. I love that boy. We talk, chop it up, laugh, and joke all the time. But I do care what people believe because what they believe leads to their worldview, and worldviews, I feel like they are important. Since I'm all about truth, 1 + 1 does equals 2. If another person don't believe that 1 + 1 equals 2, then I'm not going to trust that person with my money. You see what I'm saying? But let me read this real quick. It says, tell us the stories of scientists, founders, and prophets like Lenin, Stalin, Chairman Mao, Lepat, and rulers of atheist countries. Tell us of the mass murders, the freedoms, hopes, joy the people have where atheism is the main religion. Tell us of your religious symbols like the hammer, the sickle, the swastika. Are there others? Name the organization your atheist religions have started to help the sick, the poor, the dying, the downtrodden. It would be valuable to know their names so that we can send them donations. Do you even send missionaries to other countries to help people? The answer is no. Show us the inspiring, hope-filled artwork and music that atheism produce. Describe the changed lives attributed to atheism. And of course, we all know that atheists, free thinkers, and non-thinkers do not accept paid Christian holiday
30
money.
seconds.
Like, come on, man. Christianity has done more for the world than any other organization on the face of this earth. If you want to talk about school, you want to talk about college, you want to talk about food pantries, you want to talk about old folks' homes, you want to talk about orphanages, whatever area of life that's important for people in need, Christianity has not only laid the foundation, but they have done more for the world than any other religion, organization, or worldview in the world. Let's go.
All right. We are time. So,
Ooh wee. Ooh wee.
you both have 6 minutes of back and forth on a particular topic. Again, the question is, does it make sense to believe in Christianity or follow atheism? Why and why not? I'm setting time for 6 minutes. And when you brothers start, I will start the time.
I'm going.
Go ahead, Chris.
So
Go ahead,
you
Chris.
tried to hello. You tried to throw Hitler and Stalin into the atheism discussion based off your Christian worldview, and people know that they was Christians. They was Christians. They just had a worldview of Christianity, and you tried to throw them into atheism because you don't want to accept your baggage, brother. Right now, you tried to slick me with that. Did you just try to slick me with that? I'm just asking you.
No, I didn't try to slick you with it. Are you saying Hitler was a Christian?
Yes, he was a Christian.
According to who?
According to historical documents.
Not according to him. Not according.
He was. He said he was a Christian.
Hold up. And not according to his right-hand man that sat with him every day, in which we have the documents right now of him saying that this dude wasn't a Christian.
Right.
So where are you getting that from?
Okay, we're gonna have the after show. We're gonna have this after show because you made a claim, and I'm gonna beat that up so you can have it right now. But he was a Christian.
I didn't even name
he
him.
Was a Christian.
I didn't say him.
He was a Christian, bro. Yeah,
he
was a crazy ass Christian, just like you a crazy ass Christian. But go ahead.
But no, I didn't even name Hitler. I didn't even name Hitler, bro. I named Stalin.
No, you said the Swazi. When you say Swazi, that's a broken cross shit. Yeah, that's what Hitler, nigga. That's a Hitler shit.
I know, no, that's that's a symbol though, bro.
Yeah, well, you try to sneak one in over. But go ahead. You go ahead. I know that's sneaky shit. Go ahead.
Nah, it wasn't sneaky, bro. But though, back to the topic at hand though. What has atheism done compared to Christianity? And let's compare it. Do atheism have more food pantries than Christianity? Yes or no?
I'm gonna say no. You know why I would say no? The atheism wasn't because it's not a belief system. That's first of all, right? It's freedom. It's freedom, it's liberty, it's justice of thinking, freedom of thought, freedom of speech, without the religious dogma, without the religious dogma persecuting you for thinking another way. Like
okay, let me ask you something else. Let me ask you. So Jesus told us to look out the widows, look out the orphans, feed the poor. Since y'all are atheists and y'all don't like their religious dogma, show me individuals that have done more than the dogma of Christianity to where they're feeding the poor, looking out the widows, looking out the orphans, and not only education and not only public hospitals, because you do know that Christians laid the foundation for public hospitals. Also, Christians laid the foundation for public schools. Also, Christians have the most food pantries. Christians have the most old folks homes, and we have the most orphanages. So what? Freedoms. All
that is fine in medieval Europe. All that is fine.
No.
I'm going to pause here.
All that is fine, but in today's society, you don't need a Christian church. You don't need a Christian church. You need secular. You need separation for state and religion.
I have paused time. I have paused time because we are off topic. The question is, does it make sense to believe in Christianity or follow atheism? So, let's circle back to the original topic. And so,
now we have the back and forth. So,
the back and forth is supposed to be about the question.
That's right.
Does it make sense to believe in Christianity or follow atheism? We veered into the topic of which one has done more. I want to circle back to which one makes more sense. So I'm going to start.
Yeah, it makes more sense. I'm on topic. I don't know about here.
We have 2 minutes and 50 seconds. 2 minutes, 50 seconds on the question. Let's circle back to the topic so we can answer the question. I'm going to hit play. 1, 2, 3, go.
Okay. Out of those 2 minutes, I'm going to try to be short-winded, Craig. I think that it makes more sense to follow Christianity because Christianity leads to life. Not only does it benefit for hope, joy, and all those things here in this life, it also gives us hope for the joy that comes in the next life. Atheism is about survival of the fittest. In doing so, in survival of the fittest, then my brother Craige should not have a problem with what the white man did to our ancestors in slavery, because after we die on this earth, if that's it and you never get punished for the stuff that you did, then hey, it is what it is. You got away with it. So I think that it makes more sense.
Hold on. So this. Cause for 1,500 years, the white man been controlling Christianity. For 16, we want to talk the white man, and this so-called survivor of the fittest is just cultural things, right? It's cultural thing, and that's considered scientific racism, and it considered pseudoscience, right? So atheism
But
don't
that's
have no
atheism, though.
belief. It don't have no beliefs. It don't have no belief. So your doctrine always have chosen people, chosen by Christ, chosen by God, right? You have these chosen people. Y'all are performing the white man. He modeled himself out of the Bible, not out of science.
But
Like Sheer,
but the
Japping, and Hale, that racism shit, that shit came out of your book. And
but
it is spewed into the scientific field based off your book, your Catholic Protestant beliefs.
so because of that, people shouldn't be Christians.
Nah, you should be a fucking atheist, bro. I think
60
you'll make a
seconds.
good atheist. I think you'll make a good
Nah,
atheist,
nah,
but yeah.
I got too much, and this is not a knock towards you. I'm talking about how I see atheist itself. I have too much morality. I have too much integrity for me to be an atheist. I can't say
Oh,
one thing one day. Watch, because if I was an atheist, that means that I would have no standard. You said it. There is no creed. There is no doctrine. There is nothing that you all
but
unify
you got,
on. So hold up, wait. So if I lie today and then turn
30
around and
seconds.
if I lie
hold
today
on.
and turn around and say something different
You got to
tomorrow,
hold the
then
time.
I don't have nothing
I
to
got to
hold me
address this.
accountable
You got
because
to
I
give me
don't
a
have
little
belief.
time. Hey, I'm
Huh?
saying, so you without your Christian doctrine, you say you'll be raped, stealing, killing, and all these things, brother, without it? Or do you
No,
have
that's
any
not what I'm.
reason?
That's
You
not what I'm
basically
saying.
you saying that I'm supposed to be raped, stealing, killing. I don't do none of them things, brother, without
Gentlemen, that is
my Christian
time.
doctrine.
That is time.
Oh, I
That is
want to go
time.
back to that topic. Can we get 6 more minutes on that topic?
6 more minutes. Listen, we can't do 6 minutes. I tell you what.
We want morality. We'll do it at the end. We'll do it at the end. Bring
And
it
say,
back up.
Craig,
Listen, here's what we got. We have question number
hold
3
up,
from
Leon.
our brother
Craig,
Craig.
I will officially say I think you was right, bro. We probably should have did 3 minutes and whatever. But come on, Leon, Craig.
So here's the deal. Question number 3, Craig. This question is specifically to you. Craig,
Oh shit.
you have 3 minutes that you will have to answer question. Whether nobody will have 1 minute to rebut whatever it is that you said. You'll have 60 seconds. Here's a question. Given that God is by definition a spirit, how much sense does it make to decide whether he exists using only your 5 physical senses? I'll read it one more time. Given that God is by definition a spirit, how much sense does it make to decide whether he exists using only your 5 physical senses? When you start talking, I will start the timer.
All right. I'm saying God, he breathed the spirit into man, right? He breathed the spirit into man. And then man have a soul. And when he died, his soul go back to God, right? So now I'm saying this doctrine is a death doctrine to me, right? That's the only way you're gonna meet this God. So God is the spirit. And when you put the scriptures involved, uh God, Moses see this naked ass. God could smell the burning carcass of his sacrifices to him. Uh, Even God met with the devil, another spiritual fucking being, in the story of Job. So now this story becoming ridiculous, right? But that ain't the wildest story, you know. The wildest story is when we come to Christianity, right? The gospel. When Jesus came about. When Jesus came about. And sweet baby Jesus, I love me some sweet baby Jesus. Don't get me wrong, I'm an atheist. I love sweet baby Jesus. But sweet baby Jesus had this immaculate conception. Joseph wasn't his father. We don't know who the fucking father was. But it was this spiritual guy called God. Then you go back after you die, and you get to see in the spiritual world, right? He came down and put this Holy Spirit into this woman. Like, I don't know how the process is going. I don't know if they were having sex, but Gabriel did it. I don't know if Gabriel knocked her up with some sperm. I don't know. This is a wild ass story to me. Now all of a sudden, we have Jesus. We had this Christianity going on, and we had this immaculate conception. He became God in the flesh. So now he can smell, see, touch. He can do all the five senses now. He got a chance to experience it. And I'm saying that, man, why God had to experience on earth? Because he would go clean this motherfucker up. If I was him, I'd have cleaned this
30
whole up.
seconds. 30
Yeah.
seconds.
Because y'all always disobeyed, but he spit his son or himself down here. I don't know which one it was. The shit confusing. The Trinity shit is confusing. And y'all, that shit don't make no sense to me. It just don't make no sense to me. In a logical reasoning world. Now, in spiritual Christian world, it makes sense. I don't know.
Are you not entertained?
That is going to be time.
Are you not
It's going to be time. Properly timed, Brother Craige. Appreciate it, Brother NoBody.
Are you not entertained?
You're going to have 60 seconds, 1 minute.
All
And
right.
So when you start talking, I'll start the timer.
Leandre, what was the question again?
The question is, given that God is by definition a spirit, how much sense does it make to decide whether he exists using only your 5 physical senses?
Yeah, 1 minute, brother. 1 minute.
I don't really think he answered the question, so I don't really have too much to rebuttal. But most atheists are materialists. They do only go off of things that they can see, touch, hear, smell, and taste. We know that God is a spirit, and we know that science doesn't account for those things that are outside of natural. Science doesn't say that those things aren't real. It say that they don't account for them because they can't be tested. But atheist people like my brother RaXchet Craige, I believe that he believes in science, and science will be one of the reasons why he don't believe in the Bible. Well, what branch of science do you believe in? Because if you think that things that only exist are things that you can see, touch, feel, hear, and smell, then that would be wrong. You know what I'm saying? And science does not say that those things are not in the realm of possibility. So I didn't really hear the answer to your question. I don't think you gave a justification for why the 5 senses would be used, to do what it do. But that's my rebuttal. I don't think I need the whole minute for that, my brother.
That is going to be time. It's going to be time. So we're now moving on to next question. As a matter of fact, hang on, let me see. Oh yeah, as a matter of fact, you both you guys have 6 minutes back and forth.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right.
6 minute back and forth about that. And
right.
Then I'll start time in 3, 2, 1.
All right. So Craige, do you believe the only things that exist are the things that we can feel, touch, see, hear, taste, and all that with our 5 senses, or do you believe that there is a spiritual realm? Craige, pause the time real quickly, Andre. Craige.
Hold on, my bad. I thought I was talking. I muted myself and then muted myself.
All right.
But repeat that again, brother. Let nobody repeat.
Am I ready, Andre?
You ready? I'm gonna start time in 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay. Craige, is it true that I'm asking as a question? Is it true that do you only believe the things that we can do with our 5 senses, and those are the only things that exist? Do you believe that there is a spiritual world?
I don't believe in the spiritual world, and I believe in symbolic thought. Now, symbolic thought is a part of your brain that you can make up shit, like you try to make up shit right now, and they say it's a spiritual world. So, no. Okay. I don't believe in those worlds.
Do you believe in do you believe in supernatural things happening?
No, I don't believe in no supernatural here. It's all crazy.
Why?
Because it sounds like you need something that's outside our nature to make yourself feel important. And I get it. We want to feel important like we came from aliens or advanced technology. I get it. It's the same thing. You got to feel important or better than everybody else. You can't be a part of this nature that we have. I
So,
get it, but you go ahead.
so you agree that the only things that exist are the things that we can use our five senses for, correct?
Now, a lot of things we can't
That's what you
like
just said. Come on. Go ahead.
like subatomic particles. I find since can't detect it.
If it's
Uh,
particles,
uh,
if it's
yeah,
particles,
yeah.
then we can say that we
Giants,
see it.
so giants just float through the atmosphere, water and stuff. I find since can't do that until we come in contact with it, right? So I don't
Some,
agree that only I find assisted. I said we have something that always attacks us, and the religion. I'm starting to think God is attacking us too, just like bacteria and all that virus, like a virus. So you go ahead.
but if God don't exist, then how can He attack us?
I'm starting to think because it's in your mind. I just said it's a symbolic thought
You
that
know,
you
I'm
made
searching
up
for
in
with
your
this bitch,
mind,
Jay.
and
How
it
you
been
want it?
traditionally handed down. It been traditionally handed down to you, and you got to believe it. Like people still believe all types of other religions outside this taboo things, and you just believe it because it got passed down to you. Grandma gave it to mama, mama gave it to you.
Okay, let me ask you this though. So would things like, for example, 1 + 1 don't, I mean, 1 + 1 = 2 ain't just true today. It was true when my mom was on the earth, when my grandma was on the earth, great, all the way back to however far that we can point when mankind was on the earth. So stuff being handed down is not a bad thing. If something is true, hold up. If something is true, we should be able to trace it back to the beginning in some way, shape, or form. Atheism, we can't do that with.
Uh,
Why?
okay. Uh, Now you go into whole numbers. 1 + 1 equals
Checkmate, bro.
2. Yeah,
Checkmate.
what if what if 1.3
Reality.
plus one
We talking about
decimal
reality,
three?
though, bro.
Yeah,
But
it gonna be
we're
three,
not talking
brother.
about what
It
if.
gonna be three because it's gonna be three, brother. Because we do equations, we complex people, bro. We ain't just simple
Are we?
one plus
Hold
one
on, are we?
like we gatherers, like we primitive, bro. We
Let me ask you this
complex
real quick,
people,
Craig.
bro.
Are we as complicated as calculus? Like, like you said, we complicated, right? Are we complicated like calculus is complicated?
Who?
Calculus, mathematics, calculus.
Calculus.
Is calculus complicated?
Yes, and that's why you do it simple primitive math, 1 + 1.
Did you know that a Christian created calculus?
I don't care who created it. It worked. It
Yeah,
worked.
it worked. And that was
I
handed down.
mean, it worked
Hold on,
because
wait.
that was
And
the
that was
only show. Was that the only show in town at
no,
that
it wasn't
point?
the only. At that
Okay,
point,
maybe
no.
Islam,
Hold up, let me ask you this, right?
another Abrahamic religion was
I'm
involved.
not.
There was the
I'm not
only
saying
two
you gotta.
shows in town.
I'm not saying a person has to be religious, but this is about atheism, though. So we're asking. This question
Yeah,
was for
I
you
ain't saying
about atheism.
atheism. I'm saying Christianity because we talk about Christianity. It failed.
True, right?
It failed us that
Okay,
people
listen.
made atheistic views, bro. Became
I'm
We're
gonna
talking
atheist.
about
pause
the
It
five,
time.
failed us.
five senses.
I'm gonna pause time. There's 55 seconds left. So
Five
let
senses.
me restate the question. How much sense does it make to decide whether God exists using only your five senses, your five physical senses? Let's try to tap into that subject last 55 seconds. I'm gonna press play in 3, 2,
Man,
1.
man, we ain't gonna
Answer
be
that
able to get
question,
there
Craig.
after 55. We
Just
ain't
answer
gonna
that.
be able to get there 55 seconds
No,
out.
just answer
Uh,
the question. I ain't gonna say nothing. What sense
yeah,
do it make
yeah,
to
55. Uh,
hold up, Craig?
the only
What
thing
sense
he
do it?
know is the natural world. He don't know nothing about the supernatural world unless he make it up in his fucking mind or wait till he die to see this supernatural world. So that's how I look at it. That's how I look at it. But anyway,
Nuts.
that's me.
Okay, so
I'm running this shit.
yes, we have 19 seconds
Sit your
left.
$5 ass down before I make change.
Okay,
What would he?
19 seconds. Yeah. 19
Yeah,
seconds. He got to imagine in his mind it's a God. So to make him feel good. I'm gonna let him feel good. I have no problem with what you believe in, brother. If you believe in a supernatural being helping you out because you scared to die at the end, and you don't know where your body going, your soul going, your spirit going, you,
and that's
bro,
gonna
do that.
and that's
Do
gonna
that.
be time. So the next question, brother, nobody. This is for you. We know for a fact that there are multiple religious beliefs around the world. Given that fact, we know people have a tendency to create and believe in various religious traditions. How do you know yours is 100% true, and why should your opponent? So
Right.
you're going to have, uh, let me see, you're going to have 2 minutes, no, 3 minutes to answer the question. And so I'm going to set the time for 3 minutes.
Probably before.
And so when you start talking, I'll press play.
All righty. Hey, that's kind of a fallacious question, but I'll do my best to answer it as if we already know. And I'm going to read this from the Discovery Institute for Science and Culture. It said, first, scientists have discovered that the physical world had a beginning. This finding supports the observational astronomy of theoretical physics, contradicts the expectation of scientific atheism, who long portrayed the universe as eternal and self-existed and therefore in no need of an eternal creator. First off, I've heard somebody say that there are, I don't know how true it is, but they say it's somewhere like 5,000 religions in the world or something like that. Well, 99.9% of those religions are nature-based. They either believe in the sun, the moon, the stars, humans, animals, dogs, cats, the wind, water, all that. Well, since it is a fact that the universe had a beginning, that means that the universe is not eternal. Since the universe is not eternal since the universe is not eternal and also nothing in it, then nothing, the universe in itself and nothing in it can be God, because we know that God has to be outside of whatever entity that he is, and he has to be eternal. Well, since the majority of religions from now back to the past were all nature-based religions, we can cross all those off the list. Then what are we stuck with? We stuck with what people call the top 5 popular religions, and 3 of those religions are of the Abrahamic faith. Buddha never claimed to be God, neither did he claim for anybody to follow a specific sun god, so we can cross that off the list. Hinduism also has a instance of nature-based stuff in it, like, for example, when you go to countries where people follow Hindu, they believe that the cow is sacred. They believe that when they die, their ancestors all end up in cows and such animals like that. They would rather starve themselves to death than rather eat a cow. So since that's nature-based as well, we can cross that off the list. Now we're only down to the top 3 Abrahamic religions of the world that everybody believes. Judaism, when it comes to Judaism, we know that Judaism hasn't had a continuation in so many words, and we already know that prophecies from what Jews believe have already been fulfilled in Jesus. So we can cross Judaism off the list. When it comes to Islam and people believing in the Quran, Jesus is mentioned in the Quran more than Muhammad is. Even in the Quran says that if it's something in the Quran that you don't understand, then you should refer back to the Bible. The Bible never mentions the Quran at all, never mentions Muhammad or nothing like that, so now we're just down to 1. Now, just because I know or I believe that the Christianity is 100% true, I am in no way, shape, or form obligated to make another person believe that. Right now on the show tonight, we just heard Craige say that 1 + 1 = 3. It is a fact that 1 + 1 = 2, and everybody knows that. But if he chooses not to believe that, I am in no way, shape, or form obligated to make him believe that. So I can't convince anybody to believe in the truth just because the truth is true. I can only present the argument, I can present the evidence, and they can walk away believing whatever it is they want to believe. I don't know if that's my time, but that's all I got for them boys tonight.
That is
Let's
time.
go.
Is there no one
time.
On
else?
point. Let's go, man.
So here's what we have. DMG
Boom.
sound.
Is there
Big
no
deal.
one else?
I get my 1 minute. I get my 1 minute rebuttal.
You're gonna have 1 minute to respond, and so when you start talking, I press play.
First of all, the origin of the universe, according to you, like the other indigenous religion, it came from God, and it was nothing before God. What was before God, brother? He have no lineage, and so if people said some type of way that it was always something there, It was always something there. Now, did your God? He was always there, and he decided to make a world. I'm just saying, make this universe, this whole universe, out of nothing, because he made it out of nothing. Where did he get these materials from? What he did all these things for? And the only way I could go is into your scriptures, and it don't explain nothing, right? Light, darkness, and all these things. So I'm trying to figure.
It's gonna be time.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's gonna be time. So we're now gonna set it.
You don't know the power of the dark side.
You brothers are gonna have 6 minutes of back and forth time. I'm setting the timer. I'm gonna start in 3, 2, 1.
All right, Chris, I will start off by answering your questions, brother. Yes, God is eternal. That means that he has always existed. There is no point in time where God did not exist, like the universe that you believe in, including our 5 senses. There was a point in time when those things did come into being. God was outside of those things. So, yes, God is eternal. You asked, where did the materials come from that God built the world with? It tells you right there in the first book of the Bible, in the first chapter, in the first sentence. In the beginning, God created. How did he do it? He spoke it into existence. God is the only entity that is able to take nothing and make it something.
So word, he's spoken with word. Words bring stuff into existence.
The Bible says
the words bring stuff into existence, brother.
not our word.
Elements bring this world into existence. Subatomic atoms bring this world into existence. Or did his word that he spoke in the scripture bring it to existence? Which one you wanna? Who you siding with, science or your scriptures right now, brother?
I'm siding with science and I'm siding with the scriptures.
No.
Listen. The Bible says in the first sentence, in the beginning. Science says that the universe had a beginning.
No, I ain't saying. You said the word. No, you said in the beginning the word. I ain't saying that it was subatomic atoms in the beginning.
That's John 1, bro. I'm talking about Genesis 1. Genesis 1 says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. He spoke them into existence, bro.
He spoke them with words. What are he spoken into? With words or elements?
Bro, God is the intelligent designer. He's the ultimate creator, bro. He created elements. God created elements, bro.
You hit me with the creation argument. Oh, man.
Right. I mean, do you want to have that argument or you want to say that for another
No. You could think, bro. You said God spoke word, elements into existence.
Yeah, you can't have creation without a creator, right?
Yeah. So is it subatomic? Is this subatomic atoms or his word, brother? Did he speak subatomic particles into existence, or did he speak light into existence, brother, in darkness from void? Which one he did?
You can't have creation without a creator, right?
Yes, you can have it without cause nature always creating, brother.
But nature will be the creator then, right?
Yeah, nature always creates. You don't need a supernatural creator.
My question is, I didn't say nothing about supernatural. My question is,
I'm just saying, that's God.
You can't have creation without a creator, right?
He's a supernatural creator. I'm saying that you can have the universe could create its own self. You don't need a God. Do you need a God, brother, to create the universe?
Science says that what you call the universe didn't always exist. So how can the universe create
itself? It always existed.
Science says that the universe had a beginning, so the universe did not. So how could it create itself?
It always existed.
But you just said science don't say that.
Yes, it does, brother.
Science says that you want me to read it again?
No, I don't care. You went from a creationist institution website. You went from a Christian website to try to explain science, bro. Come on, cut that out, bro.
DMG, can you put the slide up on the screen that I got from the Discovery Science Institution?
Discovery Science is a creationist website. That's a Christian website, brother.
Right, because we ain't showing no slides tonight, and you asked me to do this, and
No,
I did not
oh,
finish
now we got
until they
to
put in the
show
slides, bro.
slides.
And
Now
and
we
I,
got to
I
show
knew you was
slides.
gonna have the. But hold up, you said
Hell
that the universe
no.
didn't. You said that that science doesn't say that the
But,
universe had a
but
beginning.
creation, do you think that discovery, John, you think that's a scientific website or there's a creation website?
Does creation equals a creator? Was my first question
Well,
to you
no, I'm
earlier.
asking you a specific. Is that a
That answers
scientific website or a creationist website? The
it's a
discovery
science.
people.
This website is the Discovery of Science Institution, headed up by Stephen Myers. He's the director. He's been in New York Times. He's been in New York Times bestseller for
But
several
is you gonna
times.
answer my question though,
It
bro?
ain't got nothing. It ain't got nothing to do with
But
if
is
you're a
you gonna answer my
creationist or not.
question? Is you gonna answer my
Yeah,
question?
I
Is
just
that a
did. You asked me who
creationist
you
website
you.
or a scientific
It's a
website?
science. It's a scientist site created by
No,
Stephen
is
Myers.
it
I
a
just told you that.
scientific website?
It's a scientific website from Discovery Science in
Oh, it's
Seattle,
a
the
scientific
institution.
website.
I have
Y'all
paused
heard
the
it. Is
Yeah.
time.
that a creation? So is it a creationist website?
Gentlemen,
Let me
hold
ask
on.
you that
It's
question.
a,
There,
It's
again for
not.
the
You
third
said it's
time.
not a creationist
there's 50
website.
seconds
Y'all
left.
heard them. It's not a
Okay, hey,
creationist website.
real quick. Nobody. Am I showing the slide or no?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay.
He needs his
Again,
help. Help him out.
There's,
Help
again. I
him
know
out.
we're gonna go to the
50
next
Help
seconds
the
round.
left.
bar. Don't help Ratchet Creed. Help the
There's
bar.
50 seconds left.
Help
I
me.
want to repeat the question, and I want to circle back to this topic because we haven't answered the question. This is the back and forth supposed to be about. The question was, we know for a fact that there are multiple religious beliefs around the world. Given that fact, we know people have a tendency to create and believe in various religious traditions. How do you know yours is 100% true, and why should your opponent? The back and forth should be about this topic. 50 seconds is going to be remaining on the topic. Let's try to answer these questions with your final thoughts. I'm going to start the timer again in 3, 2, 1.
All right. I thought that I narrowed down why my 100% reason why as using the universe, and that science, not creationalist or any of that, science says the universe has a beginning, whether you're a creationalist or on the other side. I used that and I showed how nature-based religions can be crossed off the list. I got all the way down to the top 5 religions, and I crossed those off the list until it came down to Christianity.
Okay,
Craig,
now, Brother Craig, 20 seconds. Respond.
I'm just saying with his I'm just gonna say with his discovery institution site that he was doing, his creationist site, he killed himself with that source. And that's all I have to say. It wasn't a scientific site. Yeah.
Okay, so that is going to be time for us on question number 4. Now, we're going to move into question number 5. Let me see. So, question number 5, each of you gentlemen is going to have 2 minutes. Brother NoBody, you're going to lead off on this one. And
Okay.
Brother Craig, you have 2 minutes to respond after the fact. So, what we're going to do is, I'm going to read the question. The question is does Christianity contradict? Does it contradict evolution? When you start talking, I'll start your 2-minute timer.
All right. I break evolution down in 2 separate forms. There's macro evolution. What? Huh? Oh, my bad. Leandro, you got to go on mute, my brother. Can you start my time over real quick? I think that was DMG.
Yeah, it's all this time. I want to hear this.
Yeah.
Nah, I was muted.
Restart it. Go.
All right. Science breaks evolution down in 2 forms. You got micro evolution and you got macro evolution. I'm a Christian. I believe in micro evolution and I don't believe in macro evolution. And here's why. We're just going to read a brief definition. Anybody can Google this. It says micro evolution refers to small changes over short periods of time within a population. I agree with that. Therefore, that's where we get like natural selection. Like, for example, a bloodhound and a greyhound. Bloodhounds were breeded where their nose are better than most dogs. Greyhounds are like the fastest dogs on earth. But even though they have these different features, both of them are dogs. They're the same species. And I'm going to continue reading. It says, macro evolution refers to larger changes over longer time scales. Macro evolution can result in speciation or the emergence of new species. Now, it don't matter if you're in 2023 and we can record history all the way back to whatever time the first man wrote. The only thing that we find is that dogs have dogs, cows have cows, and humans have humans. We have never witnessed or observed a species having anything other than its own species. And that's what I believe. So no, Christianity does not contradict evolution. It agrees with macroevolution as pertaining to things like what I had said when it came to natural selection, but it disagrees with macroevolution because macroevolution has never ever been observed. It's never been seen, never been written about, or any of that. It is a fantasy. It is a fairy tale, like my brother claimed that the Bible is. But macroevolution has never been observed. So again, I'm gonna say it again. I believe in microevolution, and I don't believe in macroevolution. And no, I don't believe that Christianity contradicts that. It's my time.
All right.
I yield the rest of my time.
Okay. So, Brother Craig, you're going to have 2 minutes likewise.
Yeah, repeat the question again, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No problem. The question is does Christianity contradict evolution? When you start talking, I'll start your 2-minute timer.
First of all, when he said bloodhound, I think Saint Bernard. I don't know what other dog he used. That is called sexual breeding, right? It's not called natural selection. So you got that one wrong, brother. Also, you contradicted yourself. You don't believe in microevolution, and you believe on in macro or whatever, right? I don't know which one you said. It don't matter. You against science. It's contradict. Your Christianity is contradicting science at that point. So you already out there. See, the problem is, do I say Christianity contradict evolution? I would say no, right? I would say no. But then put it in reverse. Do evolution contradict Christianity? I would say yes at that question. I would say yes, because it go against the Adam dirt man. It go against the Adam dirt man and the real woman. Because you have natural processes happening, right? You have these things happening, and that's against sexual reproduction, regardless of your species. You don't believe in speciation, so I ain't going down that route. You don't believe in speciation that eventually lead to a different species, right? You don't believe in it, so I ain't going down that route. I'm just saying when it comes to your it contradicts the Bible. Contradicts. Evolution contradicts the Bible. That's what y'all whole hang up about, and that's why you made that macro argument. You know what I'm saying? And you got it wrong with the natural selection. That's selective breeding, brother, and humans did that. Just like they did the plantation thing with over here in Americas, bro.
And that is going to be time. Yeah. Go ahead and finish your sentence, and that's going to be time.
Yeah. Over here in America, they breeded the biggest bucks. You know what I'm saying? It's just a part of selective breeding, right? That's all I'm saying. So, okay. Yeah.
So, we're going to have 6 minutes. If you gentlemen, you can go back and forth. I'm going to start your timer here in 3, 2, 1.
So, brother, nobody cares. Brother, nobody cares. Brethren, nobody cares. Hallelujah, Lord. Hallelujah, Lord. Hey. Do you agree that Saint Bernard bloodhound thing is not natural selection and it's selective breeding? Do you agree with that?
Yeah,
I'm crazy. I'm crazy.
No, I agree.
Okay. You confirm. You go ahead at this point, brother. I'm good. I'm good. Right?
All right. Now, you said you agree with the scientific method, right? Which is observation, question, hypothesis, research, data, experiment, then conclusion. You agree with that, right?
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right. Have we ever observed macroevolution, a species turning into another species, yes or no?
You don't have to observe it like
all
that.
All right. So that means no, right? So that's
no.
So have anybody in history ever wrote about, I'm talking about from now, 2023, all the way back to recorded written history. Have anybody ever wrote about them, like a cow having a non-cow, dog having a non-dog, feline having non-feline. Do we have anybody in history agreeing that they have observed?
I'm gonna say no, but I can say we have people writing about that motherfucker having holy virgin immaculate conceptions. Is that
That's
just
fine,
as
but we're gonna stay on
crazy?
topic.
I'm just gonna say that.
We gotta stay on topic, bro.
Like them niggas didn't know shit. They believed in magic back then. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so science is observation,
with this
right?
bitch, Jay. How you want it?
Science is a question, hypothesis. Then we got the research, the observation, the data, the experiment, and then we get the conclusion. That's science, right? Right?
Yeah, you can observe a motherfucker pregnant.
You missed
You
now.
you might not know who the daddy is.
Hold on,
You might not know who the daddy
hold on,
is,
bro. Hold
but
on,
you can observe a motherfucker pregnant,
Wait.
bro. Come on.
You just said when it comes to the second question, which is observation, macroevolution, ain't nobody observed it. Now, I believe in evolution, like I said, micro. I have seen people breed, as you said, dogs. Dog will be this way. They'll breed it with this dog, and it'll come out this other dog. That's micro. So yes, Christianity does not contradict evolution.
Hold on.
Wait. Which is the scientific evolution of macro. Yes, Christianity disagrees with micro because it is not scientific. Macroevolution is not scientific. Ain't nobody have ever.
So you want to see in our eyes that two humans, two monkeys having sex with each other and make a human.
Another species. Yeah, that's science.
That ain't how that shit work. You got that wrong. You fucking up science right now. Hold on. Do you believe in speciation? Because we witness speciation, bro.
No, I don't.
We witness speciation in our time, and we have fossils that confirm that we have witnesses and insects that's less complex. Insects that's less complex. They speciate.
Wait, Craige. A fossil only proves that something died. It doesn't prove that it had any offspring, bro.
So hold on. Neanderthals, they're a different species for Homo sapiens.
Is that Neanderthal or human or non? Or Neanderthal humans or non?
Okay,
I'm asking you this. Or Neanderthal humans or non?
They humans, brother. I'm going to teach you taxonomy. I'm going to teach you taxonomy.
That's a science species.
Okay, what about Australopithecus, right? Australopithecus, right? They were walking upright. They were walking upright. Yeah, Australopithecus was walking upright, just like body humans, and they speciated to humans, right? They different species. They ain't humans.
No, that ain't science.
Okay.
Have we seen that?
Lucy gave forth to the
Craige. The second step in science is observation. So right now, you're the one who's not believing in science, not me.
But did you observe your fucking God create this fucking universe?
Either die a hero,
did you observe your God
enough to
create
see
this
yourself become a
universe?
villain.
You just believe that shit with no evidence. Based off scripture. You have faith, brother. So you can't be you doing too much right now. You can observe your God, but I can't off material evidence. Fossils, I can't use that. You going out scripture. You have preconception notion, bro.
Of running this shit.
That's all I'm saying.
Sit your $5 ass down.
Go ahead, bro.
Change.
You ain't fair, brother, right now.
I'm playing fair, bro. I'm saying
you being fair right now, brother.
30 seconds.
I just said.
Craige, everything I said tonight, you agree with, man. And
I didn't agree with none of that shit you talking about. I don't know what part of this debate, this versus dialogue that you think you heard, nigga. You delusional right now. You is at it. You ain't at it. I don't know. You delusional right now. Help him out. Somebody help him out. Say the bar. Don't say RaXchet.
Time, brothers. That is going to be time.
Last question.
So now we have the last question of the night. Does atheism affirm evolution? The question is again, does atheism affirm evolution? It's going to be 2 minutes.
He already said no.
So it's going to be 2 minutes. Brother Craig.
Let me expound on that.
Yeah, you
I
gonna
do
start off this round. As soon as you start talking, I'll start the 2-minute timer. Go ahead, do your thing.
Okay, my fault for cutting you off. Great brother Leandre, you've been doing a great job. But now, stop my time now. But no, atheism do not confirm evolution. You can believe in UFOs, you can believe in Buddha, they don't have no higher creator, and they consider atheistic religion, right? That's the only religion that's atheistic. And they're been freeborn, right? So no, I don't say it confirms atheism. Some people don't care about creation and the origin of the beginning of time and all that. Some people don't care, and they could be atheists. They consider Satanists atheists. That's weird because they believe in the Bible shit still. I don't accept them as atheism, but hey, they get thrown in that category. You got the UFO nutcases who believe that they came down here and they made it with Homo erectus and they came from another planet. That weird shit. They consider atheists. You have people who hate God. Right? God might do something to them, and religious people, and they might become atheists that type of way. You know what I'm saying? So, atheism don't affirm evolution. I ain't going that far. I ain't going that far. Yeah. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done, bro.
Okay.
I'm done, bro. I'm done, bro.
He done, Leandre. He did this time.
Yeah. What do you think about that, brother?
Okay,
I'm finna give my rebuttal. I got 1 minute.
No. You got 2 minutes. This is a 2 minute thing. So you got 2 minutes. So when you start talking, I'll start the time.
All right. This is why I do like my brother RaXchet Craige as an atheist. I can ask him certain questions and he don't come. He say he's a radical atheist, but when I talk to him, he's actually not. And that's one thing that I do like about him. I can ask him certain questions and he's studied enough, like the last question that he was just asked, does atheism affirm evolution? And he gave the correct answer. No, it doesn't, because people can believe whatever they want to believe. And that's true. And that's the reason why I'm not an atheist, because people should not be able, people should be able to do what they want to, but people who are intelligent should not want to only believe what they believe. You should want to believe what's true. You should want to believe what's a fact. And if it's not a fact, then you shouldn't believe that. And that's one reason why I disagree with all of atheism. I believe that there is a standard of life, and we all should live our life in agreement with that standard. And even if you go outside of that standard, well, just admit that you was wrong. If you want to live a lifestyle and do stuff that's wrong, then just admit that that's just who you are. If you are a person, and everybody does wrong, so if you are a person that does wrong but you want to correct that, then I think that it's a standard when it comes to correction, and people like RaXchet Craige, man, like I like talking to people like this, you know what I'm saying, too, because at least the brother honest with y'all, man. I've been talking to atheists before I came even to the conscious community, white atheists and all that stuff, and a lot of them were radical atheists. They wouldn't answer our questions honestly, and I believe that the brother answered our question honestly. And does atheism affirm evolution? No, it doesn't. And that goes back to me saying macroevolution is trash. That's not science. It doesn't even pass the second step of science, which is observation. Nobody has ever observed it. We've never heard nobody write about it. We've never heard. All we've seen was cows have cows and dogs have dogs. You can go read from any breeder, any farmer from 2023 all the way back to the existence of writing. Whenever they bred something or whenever a species had sex with another species, that species produced that same exact species. It don't matter if it was faster or if it was slower or if it was faster. That is going to be time. Let's go.
Okay, so we're now going to have our 6 minutes back and forth on this topic. So I'm going to start the time here. In 3, 2, 1.
Hey, repeat the topic. Hold on. Repeat the topic again. This nigga got me off course with that crazy.
You said no to it, bro. So we agree.
I forgot, nigga. You was everywhere.
Does atheism affirm evolution? This is the question.
Yeah.
Well, I said,
Einstein.
well, come on, I ain't gonna lie with you, Craig. I ain't gonna lie with you, Craig. I believe in God, bro. So I believe if I lie, that's me taking a chance to go to hell. Now I know you don't believe that because you're an atheist. Atheists don't have standards, right?
And I don't have no standards, and I don't have no standards. I don't have no standards. I don't have no morals. And my lack of belief of God. Yeah, okay.
But Craig, I just spent 2 minutes saying how I like you because you do have morals.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about that shit.
I know you're atheist, right?
Nigga, you trying to romance me, nigga. You trying to be a Roman, nigga. You trying to romance me. You trying to be a Roman, nigga. I ain't following that shit.
I'm gonna do what Christ do, bro. I'm gonna do what Christ do. Christ just gonna love on you.
Christ's dad, it might be was a Roman soldier, nigga.
Hey, man,
he might was a Roman soldier, nigga. I don't know. Yeah, but you trying to do what Christ do, nigga. But anyway. Yeah.
So we agree.
But anyway.
According to the topic,
he might was a Roman soldier. You know that theory out there, nigga. He might be a Roman soldier, nigga. It was up in Germany, nigga. The artifact. Yeah. But anyway.
If I was born back then and I was a Roman soldier, and you think that's what Roman soldiers do because they believe in Christianity.
You try to romance me just a second ago, brother. You trying to tell me I ain't shit. I ain't got no standard. I ain't got no moral. I'm not a radical atheist. I don't know what that means, a radical atheist.
No,
you must think I'm a Savio or some motherfucking body. You consider Savio. I think you try to play me, brother.
No, not at all. I don't think you are a Savio. Oh my God.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Stay with you. I didn't like your feel, brother.
Craig, I know it's different type of atheists, just like you know it's different type of Christians, bro. I'm not ignorant to that fact, bro. I ain't ignorant to that.
But I ain't got no status and no morals, bro, because I'm an atheist and you believe in God, so you should rule over me, brother.
No,
and you should and you should go to heaven and I should go to hell, right?
I ain't say you should. Because if you choose to go to hell, that's on you. I don't think.
I don't believe it either because I gotta believe in God. But you giving me the only two options right now, brother. And I don't like it.
Hold on, watch this. But you claim to believe in truth, just like me, right?
What is true, God?
That's what I'm asking you. I'm asking you what is true. Truth is a standard, right?
Truth is to live my life for my friends and family. That's what truth is, bro. For my friends and family, it makes shit my next generation.
Craig, truth has a standard, right?
Yes, and I'm telling you what my standards is.
Hold up. So what standard does atheism agree on universally?
We had empathy. We have morals. We have values. We don't need a doctrine. We don't need training wheels we don't need training wheels in the doctrine in the book.
Listen to me, Craig. So then you would have to tell me where your morals come from, where your values come from. All that stuff you just named, you would have to tell me.
It came from my family. It came from upbringing.
Atheism doesn't even attempt to do that.
And that's fine.
You already said that earlier.
And that's fine.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you that atheism doesn't have that, and we know that.
If I was in Islam, it would be Islam. If I was in Buddha, it would be Buddha. It doesn't matter.
There are standards, bro. And
it's my culture. My culture is a part of my thing, right? I'm a part of the black culture. I'm about atheism is a part of the black culture right now, brother. We here.
Culture doesn't make something wrong or right based off of.
Yes, it does.
No, it don't.
Bro, your culture is what guides you, brother.
Let me ask you this,
and it is a mixture of everything.
Let me ask you this, Craig. What if there's a culture full of pedophiles who just like to rape children? Is that right?
I don't know what culture you talk about. I ain't never heard of culture of pedophiles. You talk about some Sodom and Gomorrah shit? You talk about some Sodom and Gomorrah shit? Some biblical shit?
Craig, we only got
I don't know.
Craig,
a culture full of pedophiles.
I didn't ask you what culture. Listen to the question, bro. What if there was a culture
That's a
who did
loaded
that.
question, though, bro.
No, because you said that culture equals standard. You said that, not me.
Bro, that's a loaded question.
It's not a
And
loaded
only
question, bro.
question I know that's
It's
like
not a
that
loaded question,
is
bro.
only example I know like that is Sodom
I
and
didn't ask you.
Gomorrah,
I didn't
full of
ask
the
you for
gay,
an. I
full
didn't
of the
ask you
gay,
for an example.
the gay
Craig,
people, full of the
I didn't
gay
ask you.
people.
Craig, I didn't ask you for an example. I didn't say name one. I asked you. You said that culture equals standard. Bro, can
It's a
you
loaded
listen so I don't
question.
have
So
to?
if I refuse to
Bro,
ask a loaded question, brother,
no,
I refuse to ask a loaded question.
because the answer to that question would be that they were wrong, bro. And why would they be wrong? It would be based off of a moral
But no,
standard
but
in
you
which
try to say
atheism
that's
does
my
not
culture.
provide.
I
That's what
never
I'm
was a
saying.
part. I can't even imagine a culture full of pedophile. Like
They
that's
would be
above my
they would be
imagination.
atheists though.
And only thing I said that you could do that shit is it in the Bible was Sodom and Gomorrah with a bunch of gay people
I
trying
didn't
to rape
ask
the
you none.
angel.
I didn't ask you none of that though.
I'm just saying that's the only example. Like I can't imagine that shit. That's above my
So
scope.
was
Only
Sodom
God
and
believing
Gomorrah. Hold on.
people could
So was
could
Sodom
make
according to the
a
narrative?
whole pedophilia culture. Only God believing people could make a
That is
pedophilia
going to be
culture.
time. That is going to be time, gentlemen. You each can get one final sentence out, and then we're going to move on to questions.
Yeah, it was really
Drop
nothing
that
to
link.
really
Somebody drop
dispute.
that link.
It was really nothing to dispute. The brother agreed with me and him agreed on the last question. Yeah, no, atheism does not affirm evolution. We were just having a conversation beyond that. So thank you, Leandre, for not cutting us off, for not sticking to the topic. We agreed.
Can somebody block Sutek? This is his comments.
Yeah,
Hey,
you
listen.
cannot block Sutek.
Hey, Sutek
You
is
can never
hilarious.
know.
Listen, Sutek is hilarious. Listen, that's why he got to be blocked.
Yeah, you can. I say no, Sutek. No blocking Sutek.
Listen, I have some questions. So before any artist
I'll make a pact with
I have
you.
questions for both of you.
Let's
The
go.
gods as our witnesses.
Go ahead.
Okay, so first and foremost, can each of you take 30 seconds to define atheism? Brother NoBody, can you go first?
No, can he go first? He the atheist.
Either way, both of y'all go answer the question.
Go ahead. Go
I
Craig.
just want to hear what he think atheist. Cause I don't need him to reply. I need to know what he think
Come on, man,
atheism
y'all
is.
playing with us.
Cause you
Atheism.
get it wrong.
I go
You be
first.
getting it wrong.
Okay, bro, I'll go first. I have no problem with going first. I'm just saying. Okay. To me, defining atheism are people who don't believe in deity, simply put.
Okay. And Brother Craig, 30 seconds. Can you define atheism?
I agree. It will believe in deities. The lack of the belief in God. Based off it is spirits, right? Or you choose to believe not in a God, right? It's the freedom of choice. So I roll with him. He try to be safe. You old safe ass nigga. You a safe ass nigga right now.
Okay, so I have another question. Can both of you define Christianity?
Craig, now you go first.
Okay. I think Christianity, anybody who believes Jesus Christ is the Lord and Savior, and they do baptism and give their life over to him and believe that, right? That's what I believe Jesus Christ is.
Okay. And brother
Christian is. Christian is my fault.
Okay. So Brother Nova, can you please define Christianity?
Christianity is a person who practices the beliefs and teachings of Jesus Christ. They follow the gospel. They believe that Jesus died, he rose again on the third day. I believe that Christianity are people who believe in the Trinity. They believe in the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. I can be detailed about what the teachings of Jesus Christ is, but again, basically in the simplest form, man, Christianity are people who put into practice the teachings and follow Jesus Christ.
Man, that's a lot of fucking jumping through holes. God damn.
Okay.
That's too much for me, god damn.
Hey, Craige is the most hilarious man in there. But okay, listen.
Cause I could have got detail. I could have got more detail. Like I don't want to tell you
I
what it
just
is.
want
Like,
you to go more detail.
because you started off.
I would have committed
Craig,
suicide tonight.
real quick,
I would have
real
committed
quick.
suicide. You would have went further, bro.
I'm not
God damn.
because I can get more detailed as into like why you brought up denominations earlier. So I tried to cut myself off real quick before I got into
Okay, that's
you know
another
what I'm saying, all of
discussion.
that. So that's all that was.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
another discussion. There's another
Okay,
discussion.
so I have a couple more questions for both of you gentlemen. Okay, so for Brother Craige, here's a question I have to you. And Brother NoBody, I have one to you as well after. Brother Craige. So I related to question, I think it was question number 4, but as it related to sort of how things came to be. How do elements bring things into existence? Because you talked about the elements bring things into existence. You said it was not the word of God and things like that. So the question for you is, how do elements bring things into existence? What's the method?
Okay. I'm just going to say, based off observation, right, of what we see that's on this planet Earth in the element chart, right, we know that these things, and then we could go into the atmosphere, these same things existed, and then we had the expanding universe, right? It keep on expanding, and based off light and traveling, we get to know that these things, this universe is expanding, right? So that's how I will explain it, right? As far as that, that's how it came into existence, and they come from subatomic particles, right? We know it is a part of the element chart, and subatomic particles is the new thing they teach in this school now since their discovery. So that's a part of the academia world right now when it comes to physics and chemicals and stuff like that. So
Okay, Brother NoBody, I have a question for you, sir. How does a completely spiritual God interact with a physical world? Please go. How does he interact with the physical world? Nobody was prepped for my questions beforehand. I typed out questions for each of them, and I'm trying to give Mika weight ahead of time. So nobody got any questions ahead of time.
You being tough on us, bro. You being tough.
Go ahead.
Look, in my worldview, I believe that God can interact with the physical world in the same way that we can interact with the things that we create. You know, when people create things, no matter what it is, like me, I used to do music or whatever. When I created my music, I was the one in the studio, had to lay that stuff down over beats and put and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And for people like DMG who like to write poetry, Leandre, I don't know what your pastime is, but I know you love to shoot guns, man. But yes, that's you coming up with whatever tricks and flips and stuff that you want to do in order for you to be better at what you do. So I believe that God is able to interact with his creation in the same way that we are able to interact with the things that we create.
Okay, so I have a question.
I don't like that else. I don't like that else. That was so political. That was so political.
All right. So I believe I have 2 more general questions, and after that, we'll take questions from the audience. But and again, we did talk about ahead of time. I decided to have some questions. So I'd like you both to touch on the subject of how, because y'all on the last question, y'all got into the subject of morality. If both of you could please touch on the question of how morality arises. Go.
You want to go first, Craig, or you want me to go?
Yeah, you go ahead. God is morality equals morality, guy.
There we go. So y'all already know the whole night I've been talking about standard. So I think that when it comes to morals have to be a standard that are objective. Objective means that they have to be right for all people in all places in all time periods, just like 1 + 1 = 2, which is the mathematical equation. I believe that when it comes to morality, it's no different than 1 + 1 = 2. Just because we get into advanced eras of life for humans, that still don't stop wrong from being wrong and right from being right. Just because the majority accept things, still don't stop wrong from being wrong and right from being right. You know what I'm saying? So I believe that morality comes from a standard, and I believe that God sets that standard. Whoever the creator is, whatever the creator is, even if it's more than one creator or whatever it is, that creator has the right to set that standard, because we all know that if something is yours, then you have the right to dictate what you do with it. is no different than something that you create, as we just spoke on a second ago. If I sit down and write a rap, you can think that that's the best rap that I ever wrote in life. If I decide to take that rap and throw that rap up and put it in the trash, whoever can be disappointed or mad or upset about it, but guess what? It's mine. So I get to do whatever it is that I want to do with whatever I create. So when it comes to God,
that's not like a dictatorship.
so when it comes to God, God gets to do whatever it is that he want to do with whatever he creates. So whatever, but God is not outside of the same standard that is set, because 1 + 1 = 2 was true even before humans ever discovered it. H2O mixed together making water, that was true even before humans ever discovered it. That's something that we discovered. It's nothing that we created. So I believe that all truth is discovered, is not created, and that truth is the same truth at the beginning of time all the way to 2023. Somebody.
Okay. So, Brother Craige, the question is I'm trying to figure out, how does morality arise on your worldview? How do we end up with morality?
I'm kind of troubled by this brother, what he was saying, and I'm gonna get into how I think it around. This brother basically said that God at the beginning tied to the end of time. Like, come on, bro. You believe in child marriage because child marriage, your sweet virgin, Holy Mary, she got married like what, around 14 years old?
Stay on top.
You know what I mean? And so now today we morally we say it's not acceptable today because women are not developed. Now you don't have to go into back then they were more developed, and then there's gonna be some bullshit. You gonna take me down a rabbit hole. I ain't saying that morals depend on the culture, and now morals depend on the culture, and we decide that women are not developed, we should give them opportunity to go to school because we got different science and technology, and women should go to school. And better themselves, they should be able to live on their own without a man, because men are known for running out on their children, and that's morally right? And they ain't got nothing to do with God. They ain't got nothing to do with God. God or the scriptures, right? The scriptures don't say that part. So we chide with the culture, and the culture chide with the technology. So I'm just confused at this point. But how morality rose is people have empathy, right? Just because I'm an atheist, I'm not gonna be over there and say, "Hey, there's a Christian over there. Let me not. I'm an evil, bad, Satanist atheist. Let me not save him because he's a Christian." You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get in the trenches. I'm gonna say, "Is you all right, brother? I saved you for this fight. I have like, bro. I'm gonna take care of my family just like you. I'm gonna do everything. I ain't gonna break the laws like you. I'm gonna do everything you do. But one thing I don't have to use is a God to say I'm moral. Maybe it's some inner stuff. It's an inner reasoning, right? Because I'm starting to think God is not reason and logic no more. Humans have his own reason and logic. It's like the supremacy of human being an atheist at this point. You know what I'm saying? We have our own reason that we don't need a God to be our moral compass, our moral container of culture. We don't need that. So I'm confused at this point how God equal morals. Like, you don't. It's plenty of instances, bro. I know plenty of atheists, brother, that are more moral than a lot of Christians. Lots of Christians.
Okay.
So you can say that moral talk, brother.
Okay,
I'm done.
So to Brother Craige's point, Brother NoBody, I have a follow-up question on the subject of morality. Is something good or moral because God has ordered it, or does God order it because it's moral, or something else? And then I have a follow-up from Brother Craige based on Brother NoBody said. Brother NoBody, respond to that. to what he's saying about this idea. So go ahead.
I think it's moral because God ordered it, because God is morality. Not that God got morality from somebody or somebody taught him what morality was, so he had to learn it. No, God is morality. The stuff that comes down from the higher standard has to be good, because good exists and bad only exists when people are outside of good.
Okay.
See what I'm saying? So, okay, go ahead. I'll stop right there.
Okay. And to Brother Craig, question for you, based on what Brother Nobody said and an example he gave before, and then we'll move on to my last two questions, and then the audience is gonna come in. But
I'm loving you, Leandre.
What's that?
I'm loving you right now, brother.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah.
Look, you're on fire. Yeah.
So to Brother Craig, given the example that you gave about, it sounded like you said that morality is determined and decided by the culture. Was there any basis on your view for objecting to slavery being in an American, from an American cultural context? Was there any reason for objecting to slavery from an American? If morality is defined by the culture, what would you say?
Hold on, repeat that again. Kind of. Yeah, you got me on that one. You got me. You too educated. Yeah, you too educated for me right now.
Okay. So let me say it this way: the question I just asked Brother Nobody was a question, and I could have just thrown rape out there as a particular topic. This is a classic. The question asked Brother Nobody is a classic philosophical question. You know that comes from Plato, for example. So asking the question about whether something is good because God has ordered it, or does God order it because it's good? That was as related to your question, Brother Craig. I asked him that philosophical question about why God is ordering a certain thing. Does this arise from some necessity placed on God? Is God ordering it in sort of arbitrary sense? And Brother Nobody's answer to the question was, and again, before, as God is my witness, we'll never discuss a single one of these things. I typed this out as y'all sitting there talking.
Yeah, I'm freestyling. I'm freestyling.
Yeah. So my question to you, Brother Craig, my question to you, Brother Craig, is this one. You stated earlier that morality arises from the culture. Yeah. So my question to you is that given that answer, if that's the case, how do we as Negroes respond to the issue of the enslavement of Negroes? If the majority culture said that was morally correct, was that morally correct because the majority culture said so? How do you respond?
Yeah. I'm gonna say Negroes who was getting raped. How can I put it? Because I don't want to make it seem like I'm picking on the Bible on this discussion, because it was their culture, but it was based off Christianity too, right? And they were Bible only people, right? At the same time, when they was doing this breeding and all these things. I don't want to, because I don't want to ostracize my Christian brothers right now on this. So I'm trying to put it. I'm trying to be political correct right now. But fuck it. That white man was using that book to breed these slaves, and he was looking at himself as Herman, and he was looking at y'all less than Herman. Y'all was the missing link. That was how he was looking at it. Y'all were cattle at the time, so y'all was just breeding, and it wasn't based on morality. And he believed in the Bible, and he was letting y'all. His children was teaching y'all the Bible. Or one of his a good slave master, right? Who thought it was wrong, a Quaker or one of them motherfuckers. They was teaching motherfuckers the Bible, so they were uprise. So it's a double-edged sword at this point. You know what I'm saying? And so this is how I look at as far as the morality things. Like people was doing it. The people who were following the culture, they was doing it. Raping and stuff because they looked at you and listened to human being. And then only way you could be a human being, you got to be a Christian. You know what I'm saying? Then you could be a human being or a subhuman, right? at this point. So it's kind of a complicated history when it comes to the Americans and the history of it, especially when it comes to what you consider morality and us having human rights.
You said culture
So,
equals morality.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, well, Brother Craig, I'll tell you what. So last questions, and I want both of you to answer these questions. How do you know, each of you know, that, well, do you know whether or not your position is going to be a compound question? Do you know that your particular positions you hold, whether it be atheism or Christianity, is 100%, meaning 100, meaning there's not 0.00001%? Do you know that it is 100% correct and true? And then the second part of this question is that, and this is relevant to the first part, does something need to be 100% to constitute knowledge? Do you need to know something 100% for it to constitute knowledge? This is the question to you both. Please answer. And after that, audience questions.
I'll go first. I do have faith in what I believe about the Bible. The Bible teaches faith. I believe that based off of all the things that I have experienced in life, not only because I think it, but that it's true for other people as well. I don't think that it's 100%, but I believe that it is in the high 90s as to why I believe it being able to be an intelligent being. And I don't believe that something has to be 100% in order for you to believe it. For an example, I believe that I'm going to wake up tomorrow. We know that people die in their sleep. I have no proof, no guarantee that I'm going to wake up tomorrow. But since I woke up yesterday, and I woke up the day before, and I woke up the day before that, I do believe that when I lay down tonight that I'm going to wake up tomorrow. But I do not have 100% guarantee that I'm going to wake up tomorrow. But I believe it with my whole heart based off the evidence that I have. Let's go.
Okay. Is my go now? Is my go. I'm a skeptic, right? So, you know, of course, I don't believe in no absolute truth. So, anything, yeah, I'm an atheist. That's God has said. That's God has said. Even some of you niggas with kids who even with the DNA test, tell you it's 99.999%. It's still at 0.001. It might not be yours. So it might not be yours. So of course, I don't believe in no 100%. I'm a skeptic. I'm an atheist. Of course, it could be anything. Even with science that I love to study, even philosophy I love to study, I'm a skeptic toward them things, right? So I can't do the absolute truth or 100% truth. I can't do it. It'd be anti counterproductive toward me. Yeah. So yeah, that's how I look at it.
So here's what I just did. I just thank you all for that. I just dropped the StreamYard thing, the link in the chat.
Before
the Bald Baptist and jumped on here.
We got the MG.
Before the family started coming in, I got one question each.
Yeah.
For
God, what's up with these niggas with these questions, man?
So
go ahead, bald guy.
So for the brother, nobody from trusting, nobody cares from trust and believe the gospel.
I care though.
Why does it make sense to believe in a God who would create his own enemy and then allow that enemy to torment his said most beloved creation? Why does that make sense?
DMG, can you pin the last comment that's up there before we do that? Because it's important. It's relevant to the topic.
That by Hyperius.
Yeah. Can you pin that up here? It's important. We need to. It's relevant to the topic. Can you pin it, please?
The one that mentioned me.
Yes, the one that says you're a thug Hebrew. Can you please pin it? Thank you. All right, go ahead. Go ahead. Now. All I'm gonna tell y'all is,
I like how you spell thug. I like how you spell thug.
I'm ready. I'm ready to go again. DMG, ask me the question again.
Why
did God make Satan? Why did God make Satan? Was your question, right?
Why does it make sense to follow a God who would create his own enemy and allow said enemy to torment his most beloved creation?
Because
I
Satan is not.
I shouldn't say torment. I shouldn't say torment. Let me correct that. To
That's fine.
tempt.
Adversary.
It to be an adversary to his most beloved creation. There you go.
All right.
RaXchet ain't that.
And I know you're talking about Satan, but when you think about it, anybody who don't believe in God.
And when you get through answering that, can you tell me why this dude Leandre got on a do-rag and a tank top? Go ahead.
Because he's goddamn.
Come on, man.
I was watching Baby Boy earlier, so that's why I was watching Baby Boy. But go ahead.
I'm often answer it first, man. He got on the do-rag and the tank top here third. Now to answer the mic, you know, it's why God created Satan. Why God created Satan is the question, right? Pretty much, right?
Right.
All right.
Why does it make sense to follow a God who would create his own enemy? Go ahead.
Right. All of us are enemies to God due to his creation. We're all against God. So it isn't like Satan is a specific individual that get to do the things that he do. Satan can't really do a lot of stuff that we can't do. I mean, Satan can kill people, we can too. Satan can deceive people, we can too. Satan can go against God, we can too. So God did not create Satan as some kind of standoff individual as to where he's an adversary to God and nothing else is. We're all adversaries to God. It isn't till we believe in Jesus Christ and we decide to take that grace through faith in him for the forgiveness of our sins, including adversary towards him, that we are able to be accounted by him righteous. So I would say the answer to your question would be, it has nothing to do with Satan being his arch nemesis. Everything is an arch nemesis to God as it comes to things that don't follow that moral standard.
God is an angry motherfucker.
Come on, man. Don't interrupt.
Let him go. I got one for you too,
Let me shine, bro. Let me shine.
Let me breathe deep. God damn, that was horrible. That was terrible. NoBody. Well, go ahead.
Man, I hit you with that Cody Rose, bro. That was.
Yeah.
Go ahead and finish NoBody so I can get to RaXchet because we got a couple of people that's waiting.
I was done.
All right. I mean, you know, I ain't here to debate. So, RaXchet, I got a question
for
you.
So, you're sweating, brother. Don't sweat. Go ahead, hit me.
From the atheistic worldview, why do human beings matter, and what is the meaning of our suffering?
What's the meaning of our suffering for the atheistic view? Obviously, we had the innate thing called it us that most human beings, right, are born with called empathy, right? We animals, we nature, and we have affections, right? We animals, we have these affections, so we care about our child, our children. We have this thing going on called language. And we able to show our love and express it through language. So us being it's natural. It's just a natural thing to be to do this, right? You don't need no God to do this, no standards, no book, no principles, because you got hunter gatherers. What they was doing before, they had a book called the Bible, and a God that said that in the beginning was the word of God. You had these hunter gatherers going around here with no book. They were speaking, but they ain't had no written language. They had art form. So they had art, cave art. They were counting with sticks. 1 + 1 = 2. They ain't get to the calculus yet. When so-called Christianity came along. So they were doing the 1 + 1. And they came up with 2. And they was living normal life. And they wasn't but it's nothing crazy. They want to fight each other over this fucking God belief. So you know, being an atheist, at this point, you know what I'm saying, it makes sense and reason to me. And that's logical. I think it's an evolution, advancement of humans. So we need this right now. But go ahead. I'm done.
All right. So look. So that being said, I'm gonna get on off. Leandre, I thought you did a great job despite your do rag and your tank top and you eating, even though your lovely wife always complains when I eat. And so
Yeah.
I ain't gonna say she complains.
Hey, this ain't our show. This ain't our show.
Hold tight.
It ain't they show. Tell them right, nobody. It ain't they show. Yeah, get the fuck out.
Hold tight.
Come on, I gotta get out.
Hey, look. All I'm saying is, Leandre, you did a great voice despite eating and wearing a do-rag and a tank top. Both combatants did an excellent job. I actually understood what both of they said, despite they extremely unique voices. And I look forward to the rest of the show. Appreciate those who watch. Appreciate those who jumped in and about to engage in some questions. And y'all keep watching Paradigm Shift TV 314. Subscribe to the whole effing show. Subscribe to Trust and Believe the Gospel. We'll be back at it again. That's peace and love. Much gratitude. NoBody from Trust and Believe the Gospel. I got some big news for you. Hit me up after the show.
Got you, bro.
Okay, the balding Baptist and got off. Again, why don't y'all go ahead and click like while you're watching? Anyhow, like, subscribe if you ain't already subscribe.
Hit that like button, man.
Please hit that like button. It's only 6 of them. 2 of them is me, so I know it ain't y'all. So go ahead and